Ow. Break a computer on the floor. Hello, everybody. It's the Pollinator. And boy, do I have a story to tell you today. I just got back from my hometown Monday night, and I gone home to attend my sister's funeral, who passed away on January 27th. And although family was prepared, and we knew something would happen eventually, it's quite one thing to know something's going to happen and then have it happen. I don't even remember much of the first 2 days after she passed. She was only 57 years old and had been sick for a long time. But all I did probably for the last 2 years was to just love her. And I did get to speak with her, but from the time I found out that she was beginning to transition, it took, that was on a Wednesday, and she was gone by Friday morning at 2:32 a.m. But I did get to speak with her when she was lucid, and then the next day I kept calling the nursing home and to check and see what her condition was, and it was just declining rapidly. So the hospice nurse gave me the idea to have one of the nurses put a phone up to her ear, because she could not speak on Thursday. And I just told her how much I loved her, and a whole bunch of other things I don't even remember, but I do remember that I started to cry and I couldn't say goodbye. I told her that it was okay for her to go home, and told her that I would see her on the other side, and then I had to hang up. And Friday morning I got the call. I knew it was going to happen just from the things that the hospice nurse was telling me. Thursday I knew she was going to pass on. And apparently her best friend, after all the calls were made to myself, my father, and her best friend, Bro, we'll call him Bro, that's what Annette called him. He said that she had a full-out conversation with our mother. We lost my mom when I was 35 and Annette was 33. But she had a full-out conversation with her while she was transitioning, right before she did. And the nurses asked her who she was talking to, and she said, "Shh, I'm talking to my mother." And apparently she was repeating things that my mother was saying to her in heaven, from heaven. And my mother told her to come with her. And within minutes after that conversation, she closed her eyes and she went to heaven with a smile on her face. That gave me a lot of comfort for a little bit, and then I began to grieve. Called a few people, and then her best friend called me, and I helped him grieve because he did not believe she was transitioning at the time. And it was a sad scene. Anyway, so as the preparations began for the service, I began to get worried about going home for the first time in over a decade. As a man, nobody in my family except an aunt who lives here in the Atlanta Metro has seen me during my transition, and I really didn't have a big take on how anybody felt about me and about my transition. And I didn't want to be worried about that while I was trying to grieve the loss of my sister, but I did worry about it. I went to one of the groups, transgender groups I go to here in the Metro, and I spent probably most of the session talking about my concerns and my fears about going home. And they shared with me the things that had happened to them in their families when they went home for the first time and saw their families. And most of their experiences, well, all of their experiences were negative. But a little piece of me thought, you know what, things may be okay, because I talked to my brother I talked to my brother before my sister passed away, and he said that he and my father were happy that I'm happy. And I believed him, but not all the way. And I was paranoid because of the things that the people in the group had said about their experiences with their family. So I also got to go to therapy the next day after that group and talked at length about how I felt about everything that was happening. And I think I shed tears through that whole session, but I didn't want to lose my sister. She's my only sister. So I just began to prepare to go home. My father helped me get home, which was a blessing in and of itself, because I couldn't do it myself. But I contacted one of my cousins and asked her if I could stay with her, and she said okay. And I also rented a car, so that if anything weird went down, that I could leave and go back to her place. And I also asked her that if I was too emotional to stand up for myself in case I got misgendered or dead named. And for those that don't know what that is, misgender is using the wrong pronouns. My pronouns are he, him, his, bro, man, dude, that kind of thing. And being dead named is being called by your birth name. And I have had my name legally changed last year, and I have been living as a male since October 2015. At any rate, so all of that was going on, and I prepared to go home, and I left on Friday and forgot about the TSA laws, that if you have things too big in your carry-on, that they would want to throw them away. And I knew I did not have time to replace what they wanted to throw away, and before the service in the following morning. So I was half asleep. I was pissed off. I got frisked up the yin yang at the airport because I had some, I think, money in my pocket, paper money, and so I ended up getting frisked, and that was an experience. Because I do also still have a cold, so I may start coughing any minute now. He started to frisk me, and then he asked me if I had anything that he should know about when he frisked the lower half of me. And I said, yeah, I'm wearing a Packer. He said, what? And then it dawned on him what I said, and he goes, well, do you want her to frisk you? I said, no, It's all right. Just wanted you to know. And there was so much going on in the airport Friday that he forgot all about me. He actually moved away, and he didn't even frisk me on the lower half of my body. So that's when I went to the other TSA agent, and they said, you can't have this deodorant, lotion, and I think baby powder. We're going to throw them away. I said, no, you're not. And I lost track of the time. They walked me back out to the ticket agent. And when I got there, he said, well, we're going to need to check on your carry-on, but you missed your flight. I was like, uh-oh. What do you mean I missed the flight? I looked at my phone and I went, oh crap. So they had to reroute my flight to go through another city, and I had to pay for that little bag with no lock. The entire flight, I was praying that the bag showed up without any of the contents missing. And when I got to the gate, the plane was so small, I thought, oh, what the hell is this? That plane probably didn't have 40 rows on it. It was really tiny. I can't remember the name of the plane, but it was one of the United Express jets. So anyway, I get to Houston, and I'm still praying. I'm praying that everything's going to go okay at home, and I'm praying that that bag gets there without missing contents. So I go to my next gate. That plane was even smaller. It had one row on the right, one row with a single seat, and the other row had 2 seats. And I was like, is this even going to go above the clouds? I mean, that's how small it was. But it was a jet. So, and it got probably 37,000 feet up in the air. So, you know, it was a little bumpy, but I got there in one piece, and my bags got there. My other bag actually left on the previous flight, went through Chicago. So when I got there, I had to go to the claims agent, and my bag was there. And then my other bag showed up. So I dodged a bullet. Then I get to my cousin's house, and I think I talked her to sleep. For anybody who's ever met me in person, I am Blabby Billy. I am. I talk your head off. That's just how I am. That's how I've always been. Well, since I found my voice in Alcoholics Anonymous back in the 80s. But so I spend the night talking with my cousin, and she gave me her bedroom, which was very, very gracious and hospitable of her. She had a 4-year-old grandson who talked my ear off. I mean, I kept hiding up in her room because this kid, he was really exciting. But he talked a lot about a lot of he talked to himself when there wasn't nobody to talk to. So anyway, the next morning was the service. I got dressed in one of my nicer suits and tie and very nice shoes, and me and my cousin headed over there to the cemetery. It was just a cemetery service. Oh, I was also asked if I wanted to speak by my father's wife, and I had forgotten that I actually asked to speak, so I wasn't prepared for anything. And I told her that I would let her know in the morning if I felt up to speaking at the service. So when I got there, there was a lot of family there. Not as much as I had hoped, and some friends of mine weren't able to attend. But that's okay. I was too kind of nervous and whatnot to pay much attention to how many people actually showed up. But I sent a text to my father's wife before we left and told her that I actually would speak. And so I get there. Her nuclear family got to sit in the chairs in front of her, the little blue box that they buried her in. She was cremated. And then my one of my cousins, I did it again. I did not. Sorry, folks. One of my cousins spoke first, and then they called me, and I got up. I don't even remember what I said. I think I remember, the only thing I remember was what I said in the end, which was what happened that day that the minutes before she passed on, that she had a talk with our mother, and that, so I got real emotional at the end of what I said, and then I sat down. And then my other cousin, who was the son of the first one, who was actually a minister, he said a prayer and some things, and the entire family said the Lord's Prayer together. I sat next to my father on one side, my brother on the other. And when I sat down, I was still emotional, so his wife gave me a tissue, and I grieved a little bit. It's a lot harder for me to cry on testosterone. But surprisingly enough, my brother starts crying, so she hands him a tissue. I mean, the whole thing was very moving, very loving. And then I saw the, I don't know what you call it, the little pamphlets that they give. I have one over to the left, but that had my picture, sisters, some prayers in it, who she was survived by. And that's when I saw it. My father and my family saw to it to put in that pamphlet that she was survived by my father, her stepmother, her two brothers, with my correct name, and family, and lots of cousins and things of that nature. I was so moved I didn't even know what to say. I went there expecting the worst, and the best of the best happened. I did take pictures, and a very beautiful tree that he had her buried next to, and then we went over to my father's house for a repast. And a lot of everybody that was there showed up at the repast, and everybody respected me. Not only was the service beautiful, everything about it, but the love that I got from my family was not what I expected. It was awesome. It was beautiful, and it was very loving. I still don't even know what word to put on what happened last weekend. I was absolutely blown away. And I attribute much of my family's reaction to me with my reaction to my own transition. I did not start transitioning until I had fully embraced who I was. And because I embraced myself, I didn't care if anybody else did. I gave everybody the right to not embrace it at all. And the way that I did it was very loving. I didn't demand people accept me as a male. I didn't demand anything from anybody. I told the people in my family and my friends that if they did not like where I was coming from or what I was about, that they can just unfriend me and they don't have to talk to me again. I had no anger or expectations of people accepting me. None. And because of that, it seems to me that they all did. Nothing but loving responses to the post that I put out about my name change and my gender change. Everybody was super awesome, and I wish that was everybody's experience, because I see it daily where they're totally rejected, and it kind of has the effect of them not fully accepting who they are until their family accepts them. Brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, the whole gamut. I've seen many guys get really depressed and really upset and anxious, have anxiety, end up in the psych ward all over the place because their family members could not stop misgendering them, call them their legal name, and whatnot. It happens every day. But I have been blessed with a loving family that accepts me because I gave them room not to accept me. So the repast went great. My Aunt Alice told a story that was absolutely embarrassed the crap out of me about busting me doing something when I was young. I couldn't believe she said that. And I captivated a lot of people's attention during the repast and probably talked too much. And my father yells out, "Hey, Ray!" And I just laughed at him and said, "Yeah, well, that's normal. You know, the last time I was here, you asked me if I ever shut up." And the answer to that is, no. When I go to sleep, I shut up. And when I'm doing something, I do. But otherwise, I am Blabby Billy. I talk, which has caused a couple of friends of mine to misgender me because I talk so much. I said, well, I know a thug, a cisgender, a male that identifies with the gender they were born as. He talks more than I do. He can talk me under a table. So that's no measure of what a female or a male is. Either get with the program or stop talking to me, basically. So the repast went wonderfully. I got a very beautiful, beautiful urn from my father and his wife, and that's sitting right up there. My sister is going to sit next to me for the rest of my days. And on the other side of my monitor up there is a little doll that I gave my mother when she was passing away. And so I confiscated the doll and have her sitting up there next to my sister and my bachelor's degree right in the middle. I'll show you. I'll show you if I can. Okay, so that is where my two favorite ladies in the whole wide world sit. And because of what happened, I got the closure that I needed about my sister. And I got something I totally didn't expect, which was respect and love and honor from my family. They have no idea what that did for me. Maybe they do, I don't know, but I'm putting it live. It'll be on the internet forever. That my family is the bomb. They are awesome. Cousins, aunts, uncles. Oh, I don't have any uncles. A lot of cousins. My father, his wife, my brother. Everybody is down for what I'm going through right now. So I stayed and had dinner with an old friend the next day, and we had a blast at Spaghetti Works. I talked so much I didn't even finish my dinner. I had to take it home back to my cousin's house. We had a lot of years to catch up. Um, at any rate, I had dinner with her, got caught up. A lot of love, a lot of conversation. She's a great lady, and I got back on the planes the next day and came back here, full of gratitude, love. I am a family man. I really am. And I've missed my family for a long time. And seeing them accept me the way that they did healed something that I didn't even know needed to be healed. Maybe healed is the wrong word, but it did something to me. Now I know for certain that my sister is in a better place. She's not suffering anymore. She doesn't have to see any more doctors in white coats. She was quite upset about that. She wanted them to wear colors, you know, pink, red, blue, green, everything like that. And I said, well, how about you stop ending up in the hospital? Then you don't have to see all them white coats. But we had a good laughs about that. I said, well, they have to wear white to identify them as doctors, opposed to all the rest of the staff. But I just wanted to thank my family, my friends, and to pass on that there is hope for those of you who are having problems with your family's acceptance and respect of you. If you accept, respect, and love yourself enough to be able to be okay without them, then you'll be extra especially loved and respected and all of those things with them. Give them space. Let them see your love for yourself. Let them see your confidence that you didn't decide to do something like this. That this is who you've always been. And somehow, I don't know if that works like reverse psychology or something, but I have gotten more acceptance and respect and love from friends, family, strangers, everything around the globe because of how I am about me than most people's experiences that I'm seeing around the internet. It's unfortunate, but just put your big boy pants on, and for you ladies, put your big lady panties on and walk around like you don't give a crap whether anybody accepts you or not, because you accept you. And the God of your understanding accepts you. Knock those two things down and the rest just happens like dominoes. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? That when you give people the space to say no, then they have just an equal amount of space to say yes. So that's it for now. I've already made this video too long, but I just wanted to share with everybody that things went really, really, really well when I went home. I'm going to go home again, but I won't be able to do that this year because too many other things are going on this year. But I am in love with my family, and my family's in love with me, and everything else is going to be okay because of that. I got renewed. It's almost like I got reborn again because of the experience that I had when I went home. But I hope everybody has a blessed week, and I will make other videos. Peace.